questions is, what motivated me to start a business? And the thing was, I wanted a studio gallery. I wanted to be able to make the pots and sell the pots in the same place. And this is very typical of what it was like back in the 70s. I love this. This is by Peter Holter. And these are the various artists working at their area. We were like a little tourist attraction. You could come in and watch the artists at work. And we've got John Mayers and Corin who worked in the front. And that's Jody Ricard, Dave Ricard, Leslie Falconer, Diana Randolph, and used to be Tesori. And she's here tonight. And then one of our foster kids, she actually went to college in art and came home after college. And that's her little gal, Nikki. She was actually potty trained. Oops, sorry. She was actually potty trained in the gallery. And then we have Leslie, and that's me over in the corner. So when we started, we were a regular brick and mortar place, and it was all about inviting the people in to buy our pots and watch us work. And to finance our place, oh wait a minute here, I gotta turn this. This is what it looked like 49 years ago. And we didn't know anything about historical, being true to the historical thing. We should have had narrow clapboard, but we really thought these shakes were cool. And my husband did all the work. That's his dad standing in the front there. And this was his Uncle Carl's building. And we went back and talked to his aunt. It was actually my husband's idea to buy this place. And so we asked her, well, how much do you want? And she said, $2,000. We went, whoa, $2,000, you know. I'm a stay-at-home mom with 3 little kids and teacher's salary. So what we did is went to the bank, and by gosh, didn't they give us a loan. 7 years, $51 a month. And the cute little apartment in the back, we rented it out for $45, so it cost me $6 a month for 7 years to get started in business. This is what it looked like at the opening. I think it's kind of funny. I just put some doors on the floor, supported by bricks. So if you couldn't bend over, you couldn't buy a pot. And it was kind of funny. Here's the opening. This is Gary pinning a corsage on my Nehru suit. And here's the 3 little kids under 3. Oh my goodness. And it was kind of tough trying to fix the place up. So I was very fortunate. While I was home with the kids, I still painted. And I did large acrylics and oils. And what I would do is I could paint while I had these kids running around. They loved it. And I had a show up in Duluth at Gallery 5 in 1971. And it was unbelievable. I had 43 paintings. And Gino Bellucci's son stopped in, liked the show, and bought all 40-some paintings. I couldn't believe it. So when the show opened, I had already sold every painting. And when the check came in, it was really nice. Gary put in a new furnace and electric system, and it really got us going. And another question is, well, no, wait a minute. Now I just want to give some credit here. I started out, the first 25 years I was in business, I was a potter. And I owe Bob Eccles a big debt because I was his very first apprentice back in 58 and 59. And I just learned so much from this gentleman. So I just wanted to say thank you. This was a little reunion he had. And the next question is, who's our market? Well, when I started, obviously, it was just open the door and hope people come in, invite them in any way we could to make them feel welcome. But right now, with the internet, I'm so fortunate the whole world is my market. It's an incredible turn of events. So I'll just start by talking about the first 25 years that we were a pottery. I had, as you can see, that was the actual gallery space. And there's Diana back in the, what do you think that is, about the 70s? That's Ramon. And we like to take pictures every year. It was kind of fun. So Diana was my manager for quite a few years. And then here's another great picture. I love this, next to the old pot. That's in the 80s, isn't it? Read the date. Anyway, there's Diana again. Gave her card. And now the next one shows our daughter, Renee. And she was our manager for something like 11 years. And that's Dave. He's had his own harem. It was always kind of cool. Although he does have another gentleman in this one. But generally it was just Dave. And if it wasn't for Dave, I really couldn't have had this fantastic pottery studio. He basically is responsible for all the designing of the kilns, the building of the kilns. He was just a great asset. And we worked together for over 15 years. And now the next one shows remodeling. Anytime you buy an old building for $2,000, you gotta make a few changes. So after a while, we booted out this poor old World War II vet, and we took that space over to become our actual production area. You can see the mess at this point. And then I also added a side porch where we would put the seconds and a lamp in every window. And people would stop in because they thought we were a lamp shop. And then of all things, you know, we had there's a basement under here. That's where we mixed our clay. And so Gary said, well, I could put a second story on there because I started getting interested in painting and it was so dusty downstairs. I wanted a cleaner place. So in February, now it's cold in February, he put on a whole second story, and it just so happened the day it was all torn off and he was putting up all the trusses and stuff, it was almost in the 70s. He was in a t-shirt and he was looking over and watching the snowmobile races down at the West End Park, putting on a second floor. It was great. Well, then we decided to add a whole big 2,500 square foot addition, which now is my teaching studio and the frame shop and some space that I rent out. So the remodeling's been major. We're now up to about 5,000 square feet. Now, another question was, how do you market your business? Well, 50 years ago, I did it with ads in the newspaper. You can tell how old these are. And so Bob Eccles and I would pay about $50 for these ads and just hope people would read them and come in. I said, Bob, I think we could really up the interest if we started like adding little things to our ads. Oh, he said, that's interesting. Sure, he said, let's try it. So the one on top is Bob's, and it says, for those who know quality, gift appeal from the potter's wheel. So I said, for those who don't know quality, forget appeal, get a good deal. Pretty soon Bob called me back and said, actually, I don't like that idea. So we moved on. And then, of course, I had many brochures. This is just the cover of one of them. But actually, my very best way of marketing was writing on the front window. You know, if we had sales or if we had events. When Dave Ricard's wife had a baby girl, we put, it's a girl. So our front window is sort of like Twitter. we just put everything out on that window. And I can't believe this. I even painted my own billboards. And somebody took a picture of me and sent it to me, and I thought, oh my God, what am I ever going to do with that picture? And I sure didn't think I'd be putting it up for everybody to see, but actually did billboards, and then decided that maybe I'd get some visibility if I were to start entering parades. So here I am, open year-round. I had something attached to the back. That's not a person behind me. That's I don't know what it is. And then I thought, well, let's do the big time. So Leslie Falconer actually designed these core suits, or apple cores. And so the two of us marched down the parade the first time. And back in those days, the apple growers actually threw apples out to people. So we bought a bunch of apples and put out a big pot with fruit fresh in it. And we kept all the apple cores. And so we threw apple cores, which was a really dumb idea because they threw them back. So we only did that 1 year. And my husband put together a little band, beautiful little jazzy sounding Dixieland band. And we would just dance. We've been doing this for 36 years. And so we call ourselves the Drum and Apple Corps. But sometimes we're actually, here we go. Sometimes we're the Rum and Apple Corps. And there's one thing I just wanted to share for you artists out there. A lot of times people can't afford to buy a painting. So what I do is I just call it a lease to own. And you can take the price, like a $400 painting, divide it by 10, no down payment, no interest, and we just take your credit card and send you a receipt every month, and for $40 a month it makes art affordable. I've sold over 1,000 paintings on this deal. And it was really funny, I started it years and years ago when I still had foster kids, and it was $5 a month. I just had a little sign this big, rent a painting, $5 a month. And then the rent would be taken off of the purchase if you decided to buy it. One day my mom walked in and she said, I want to rent a painting. I said, Mom, you can have any painting you want. No, she said, later $5 down, she said, I want to rent a painting every day. Every month she came in with the $5. It was so cute. And one of my foster sons, actually Tommy Nelson from the island, he bought a girlfriend 3 months rent. So he came in with $15 and gave this painting to his girlfriend for a $15 3-month rental, and she came in and bought the painting. So I've got a lot of stories on that $5 a month painting. And what my biggest challenge was really merging art with 3 kids, 7 foster kids, a part-time job at Northland College, and trying to run a business. And my other biggest challenge was technology. And I think everybody can agree. How many people here remember DOS? That was the hardest thing for me to get past, but now I wouldn't be without it. And one of the lessons I've learned over the years is that rather than making pots or selling, that I'm really more interested in teaching. Teaching is where my heart is. So that's what I did. I started an art school, and I write a lot of books and DVDs. And this is that beautiful addition I told you about. It's now an art school, and people come from all over the USA. I, in fact, had a lady from Germany in my last class. And we just have such a good time. They all bond and come back. Some people have been coming back for 22 years. It's amazing. And now the online has really changed my life. I just started this Keeping Up with Carlin, and it's unbelievable. We've got hundreds and hundreds of people from all over, New Zealand and Tasmania, Germany, all over the place, who have joined. I'm real happy about that. Here you can see I'm actually doing the filming. I'm having an awfully good time. I just upgraded everything, the lighting system, and I'm so fortunate my production manager rents the space above me. So I can just take all day to get ready, and when I'm ready to film, all I have to do is go to the bottom of the stairs and say, hey Jonas, is this a good time to come down and film? So we actually filmed this Keeping Up with Carlin. It's 24 lessons. So that's a lot of filming, plus capers and bonus films. Sometimes I film it and say, oh, I think I can do better. We'll make that a bonus and do it over again. So it was really fun to do. And what happened, I didn't realize this, but when I started teaching classes, the people who took the classes seemed to be women with lots of means. And so I'd say, well, listen, you know, I've got this trip to South Africa. And they'll say, oh yeah, sign me up. So now I've done over 80 international trips. I just dream up a place to go and get it all together. And these ladies join me, so it's really fun. Unfortunately, my husband loves these trips. We were just recently on a 20-day cruise from Santiago, Chile, all the way up to San Francisco. And there were two interesting things about that trip. When we were in Santiago, Chile, we experienced a 6.9 earthquake. And when we got to San Francisco, we got to see our son. So that was really, really terrific. Here you can see a group in South Africa. And the last thing I want to say is about the key to my success. And that's an easy one. It's this gentleman right here. This Mr. Holman. He's the one who thought of the idea. And he's been real encouraging. I mean, he's done roofing, he's done addition after addition, and a lot of shoveling and a lot of mowing. So I couldn't have done it without him. And the other thing I couldn't have done is I couldn't have done it without techie staff. Everybody that works for me has to be smarter than me to work. And it worked out really well. They all know how to do things that are very techie. So all I have to do is holler for help, which I do every day. And the other key to my success, I think, is just my determination. I wanted to be a watercolor artist and a mixed media artist, and I just pursued it. I was fortunate I could travel around to take classes and learn and write books and all that fun stuff. But I've come up with a style that people like, so I'm real lucky that way. A lot of people come to take the classes. And then the last question is, the best part about being self-employed. Well, that's pretty obvious, that you can do your own timeline. I don't have to worry about if there's a family celebration, I can get together and go. And if I want to travel, I can travel. And the other thing that's really wonderful is that I can surround myself with people I like. And I'm just thrilled I have the best staff in the world. I love them all. And we get together, we have taco parties for every birthday. And sometimes even when there isn't a birthday. And we've taken them out on cruises. That was really fun. I think we're having a pretty good time there. and then this is my usual crew sitting outside just enjoying lunch. So that's my story. And next year I will have been in business 50 years. So I thought I'd just throw this out. Is anybody interested in buying a gallery? Thank you.
And I've got the same questionnaire as Carlin did. Where did I get this idea for the gallery? When I married my wife late in life, and she was 5 years away from retirement. And she had decided that we were going to move away from Minneapolis and create this new life. And her point to me was, you better figure out what you're going to do while I'm retired. And at the same point, we were on our honeymoon in the San Juan Islands off Seattle. And we came into a series of galleries, the one in particular in Marcus Islands, that had a coffee shop, an outdoor pottery area, a gallery space. And it was all mixed in with the outdoors. And we looked at each other and basically said, well, this is a wonderful gallery, you know? Why don't we come back to San Juan Islands and do this when she retires? We fell in love with McLeod Island a couple of years later. Basically, we got off the boat, looked to the right, looked to the left, and 3 days later literally 3 days later, we bought a cabin. The following Labor Day weekend, I bought Bill Street Gallery, which was a rundown building that should have been condemned and torn down. Took that winter, it was a cold winter, 20 below, restored the building, gutted it, had island pine milled for a new floor, redid all electrical, and we thought by incorporating the island and the people of the island, we would create this community involvement. Little did I know, no matter what you do on the island, you're never going to be a local. You're always going to be an outsider. And that was one of the things that we figured out real soon, how to go around the politics of the island. Because we were basically told right away we couldn't do what we wanted to do. That, the town actually wanted us to tear down the building. We didn't. We financed the company, the business. It was just prior to the financial housing meltdown. So homes had a lot of extra cash that was available. And we proceeded to take a loan against our house, and we bought this gallery outright. It wasn't for $4,000. We restored it, got it ready for that first spring. And we went around and visited about 300 studios to find that first group of 25 artists that we were going to feature. We looked for artists that were local or created work that actually spoke to Lake Superior and McLeod Island. We encouraged island artists to join us and show us what they had. Unfortunately, many of the artists that we run into day to day now, they don't have the depth of the portfolio or the work that we need in order to represent them. So we've come up to 40 working professional artists right now, and they become family. We create a relationship that's very Carlin's. How close you get to your artist. I mean, you know their birthdays, you know when they're sick. They make your business work. Without their creations, we have empty walls and empty shelves. There's an important connection to those artists, and they're our biggest asset. They are our livelihood. Primary customers. When we first started out, I would have said women 30 to 60. And today, actually, it's really changed. We've made a big point of diversifying our product line. So we've got paintings for $75. So we've got some young artists that's what their paintings are going for. And then we go up to rabbit paintings that are, $19,000. We've got things for kids. We're in a tourist market, and that tourist market demands that we cover a lot of different price points. And over the past 9 years, we've learned how to have something for everyone. And the main thing that we have found is we've got to be open. We are open 7 days a week, consistent hours, and typically it's my wife and myself, and we're there from about 9 o'clock in the morning till about 7 or 8 o'clock at night. So there's a lot of time that's committed to this. Marketing in this region Carlin, I love the billboard idea. The island won't allow a billboard. We've pursued a lot of different angles to try and find things that work, but because Matlin Island is, you don't accidentally come upon Matlin Island. You have to make the decision to hop on a boat and go to Matlin Island. Your marketing has to be very specific. We do a lot of Facebook marketing, a lot of web marketing. We advertise with chambers, both Bayfield and Matlin Island. And we also, I'm also a publisher. And we publish a small magazine that really promotes Matlin Island. When I first stopped at Matlin Island, I would go to Bayfield and ask businesses, well, tell me about Matlin Island, what's there to do there? And they would say, well, there's nothing to do there. And so when we started our gallery, we decided we were going to have something for people to do. Our marketing, yes, we market our art, but we also market the experience. We want people to come there and visit, interact with artists. We feel that that's critical. We want them to enjoy music. We want them to take time and linger in our 4 different gallery spaces. We want them to find themselves a piece that speaks to them. And it's our gallery staff's job is to tell the unique story about each one of those pieces and what makes it special. Biggest challenges? We're on an island. And our season is so short. Islanders talk about the 100 days of July and August. And I wish they were 100 days, to tell you the truth. Our gallery, we actually close up the doors, right now, 91 days, right after Fall Fest on the island. Our building is not heated, so it's a matter of getting all the artwork back to our artists. And we talk to them about the next season. In fact, I started bugging them around January 2nd, letting them know how many more days before we're back in the business and our doors are opened again. That's one of our biggest challenges, is the season is so short. We haven't been able to locate gallery staff. We get some part-time folks in, but really they don't understand the art processes. They don't understand about paintings, how pots are thrown, or what's raku pottery. So we really have struggled trying to find extra help. But we do find bartenders, and we have found lots of musicians. And this year we've got over 80 music concerts in the gallery space. It's funny, a friend of mine on the island, our second year in business, said, why don't you sell beer and wine? The good news is the markup on beer and wine is much better than it is on art. And so we added in beer and wine and added the wine bar and all of the concerts, and it gets people to just stick around. Actually, we have paintings on our walls during those concerts. And it's very common for someone to walk up at the end of the concert and go, could you pack up that painting for me? They've fallen in love with it over the course of the concert. Let's see. Lessons that I've learned. Weather on Lake Superior, it changes constantly. And that has an effect on my business on a daily basis. If it rains, or it's going to rain, people come in and shop. If it's clear, blue skies, warm, no one's in my gallery. except if I got a band playing. If I got music going and I got ice cold beer, I've got a crowd hanging out in my gallery. And I suddenly show them our work. And we've been very fortunate. People fall in love with it, and they want to spend their lives with it. That's one of the nice things about art, as opposed to being a t-shirt shop. People live with the pieces that they buy the rest of their life. They're going to paint their rooms, they're going to change their colors, they're going to buy couches, but that piece of artwork, they're going to live with it the rest of their life. Keys to our success, we show up. I go home at the end of the night and my mouth is sore because I've been smiling so much. I kind of consider myself an introvert, and somehow during the day, at 9 o'clock in the morning, I just kind of switch on, and I'm just this friendly guy. I just put myself out there on a daily basis. October 22nd this year, I will go into the fetal position and not talk for weeks. But whenever everything's said and done, what I love about the gallery is I'm surrounded by beauty constantly. And if I'm not, I change that painting. I put a different painting on. The visitors to the island, the new people that come in, visiting with them, finding out their stories, the artists that I get to work with side by side, I'm just having a great time. I'm very fortunate to be doing what I'm doing, and in such a beautiful place. I mean, if I'm having a bad day, I walk out the door, go 50 feet, and I'm down Lake Superior. So it's pretty good living. So, thank you very much.
But I like to just talk to folks anyway, so I'm hopeful that I can tell you a little bit about our story and what has brought our vision for Salmagundi to fruition, and kind of where we're hoping to go in the future. Joel and I, as Betsy mentioned, moved to Ashland 15 years ago. I'm actually a therapist at MMC, and I continue to do that, which is part of our secret to success. We have a regular income from one party in the group. And we have done various and sundry things in Ashland over the years. Joel also has a long history with social services, and so being present with people in the world is really important to both of us. About 3 years ago, we started brainstorming about opening a business. Joel has always wanted to do this, and we've had combination ideas of, oh, it could be a coffee shop in a gallery, or it could be something else in a gallery. I've done a lot of international travel, and one thing that kept sticking in my mind is wanting to be able to do things for people internationally. And so we came up with the idea of doing a fair trade shop in combination with a local art gallery. So that my passion for being sure that we're supporting people around the world in safe, fair living situations so that they can work without being in danger and make money so their children can go to school, along with supporting our local artists in this community, was important. And so Salmagundi was born. Salmagundi means eclectic mixture. We knew that we wanted to have that sort of a name for our shop, and we looked in the thesaurus in the end to find our name, because we were coming up with things like, we were asking people, it's like, well, we want it to be like this mixture thing. Things like potpourri and melange, and like these words that just didn't work for us. And then we saw Salmagundi, and we talked about it for days. We kind of just walked around saying, Salmagundi, Salmagundi. And decided that, first of all, it's got too many syllables. No one's ever going to learn it. And then we were like, it doesn't matter. We'll just put it on a sign. People will see the sign. They'll come in the shop. It'll all be good. It won't matter. A lot of people still can't say Salmagundi, but that's okay. They know where to find us, so we're fine with that. So we started our plan in about September of 2014, and we opened for the Christmas shopping season 2 months later. We rented a storefront across from the co-op in downtown Ashland, which is where we continue to reside. And a big part of our both marketing and business plan was the fact that we were going to be across from the co-op. We figured that was a good place for visibility, a good place for traffic, and that has continued to be a really big part of it, is that a lot of folks just see where we are walking out of the co-op. We started putting together a plan where we were going to use fair trade principles, not just with the international goods that we provide, but also with local artists. And so we initially didn't do anything on consignment. We simply chose some artists whose work we loved, who we were willing to commit to, and we bought their work outright, primarily potters. And so we would buy their stuff, put it on the shelves, and that's what we did for the first couple of years. We've recently started adding consignment just so that we can broaden our base further and provide an opportunity for more folks to show their work, and that has gone well. The other part of our art business is that we have the gallery in the back, and it's nice, wide open, slightly off-white space with ever-improving lighting. Each new artist says, well, here's something you should do with your lights. And so we're getting better and better at lighting. After 3 years, we're getting close to more and more artists are happy. So we do monthly shows, all local artists. Some of the shows have been individual shows. Some of the shows have been combinations of 3D art and painting. And we've also been very lucky with the college to do 3 senior art shows. So for the last 3 years, we've had a senior art student who's used our space to do their show, which has been a really wonderful thing because they get coaching from their instructors about how to do the show. They get a lot of critique and assistance in that, so they end up being great shows. The students get to sell their stuff in a professional space. We get to have the opportunity to have all those young folks in our space, their parents, the college faculty. It's a really nice thing both ways. So we've really been lucky that way. We also are looking to do a self-portrait show in January. So anybody who's here, no matter how little or much art experience you have, if you want to make a self-portrait and show it at Salmagundi, just stop by and talk to Joel, and he will get you a space to be in our self-portrait show in January. Our receptions with our events have been very popular. We are in Ashland, which sometimes is a little slower than the other parts of the area in terms of kind of social, cultural sorts of things, which was part of our motivation. It's like everybody's like looking for art. Well, we're going to go to Washburn, to Carlin's, we're going to go further to Bayfield, or we're going to go out to the island. But then here in Ashland, we just don't do that kind of thing. We don't really have art. And so part of our opening the gallery was reflecting on the fact that sometimes folks can just stop here. And so our clientele, I think, is a little more local, a little more people that are stopping on the way up to the other places. We also get some unique business with things like people who come to the hospital for chemo. They come to see us while they're waiting for their person, or they come after their appointment. And so our space is like a calm, welcoming space for people to come. We've had people come and just hang out in the shop after they've been released from detox. So we have this very unique space, and I think part of it is due to our history in social services and mental health. But we've also been very invested in creating a space that is just very welcoming. Of course, we do want people to buy things, and so we continue to work on promoting our business in terms of sales, finding things that people like, finding services that make it more accessible for folks to purchase things from our business. And one of our business goals, quite frankly, is to make enough money to keep doing what we're doing. We're not looking to be rich or famous, and we have been very fortunate because our first year we broke even, which is kind of unusual for a new small business, and we've kind of kept in that little space where it's like we're not making a ton of money, but we are making enough to keep doing what we're doing, and so we're really happy about that. We have occasionally had very part-time help. Most of the time, Joel's our shopkeeper. He's there 6 days out of 7. I usually do 1. I do the bookkeeping, I do the fair trade purchasing, he does all the work with artists, and he is the shopkeeper who really creates the ambiance in that space. He's very welcoming. It's a social gathering place. He loves to talk to people, he loves to tell stories. He's a huge part of our success. And I think another piece for us is being able to support both established artists, because we have had artists who've been doing art for many, many years, who've come and done shows, but we've also had brand new artists come and put their stuff in our space. And so to be able to have that mixture of both the really experienced artists who come in and are able to show their art in a unique space. We had an artist last week who had her reception, and we ended up with people doing the tango in the artist space, you know, so it was kind of like, we're open, like whatever happens when folks come, that's what happens. We provide some food, we provide some drinks, and what happens, happens. We have been living with very low overhead. We rent our space. We did get a loan from AADC through the Chamber of Commerce for startups, but other than that, we basically live with, you know, we make some money, we spend some money, we make some money, we spend some money. At some point, we may want to be able to have our own space. We've talked about that and have looked into, at some point, being able to expand to that sort of a level, having our own space that we own. In terms of marketing, as I mentioned, just being across from the co-op has been a big part of our marketing. Having the doors open, we do stay open all year round, so we don't close on October 22nd, but we do, and this last winter we actually even stayed open on Sundays, which was interesting because people are looking for something to do on Sunday in the middle of the winter. So if it's not 20 below, we actually get traffic on Sundays. And so we're just there, we're available, we're open, and that's a big part of our marketing. We have an email newsletter that we send out every month. We do good old-fashioned flyers. Word of mouth is huge for us, which is really a huge compliment, and we love that. I feel like our relationships are a big part of what has helped us be as successful as we have up to this point. And as I mentioned, our gallery events that are monthly openings for the different artists have been really helpful. Last October, we did a show with Dora Kling and Kevin Kling, and so that was a lovely time. Kevin actually came and told a few stories, and that was wonderful. We had more people in the gallery and more, you know, energy and activity than ever. Dora's, and I'm sure some of you know Dora, it was wonderful because we had one of our young college students actually be kind of her assistant while she was setting up her show, and so we've been able to actually connect, you know, some young people with these very established older artists in the community. And both the young people and the adults, or the older adults, have been very pleased with these relationships. I mean, we just hear on and on about how wonderful it is that, you know, we just love her. You know, I can't believe you introduced us to her. And then Dora's like, oh, come to my house, I'll show you all my stuff. And so these relationships have been just beautiful for people who otherwise would not have met. And so for us, those are the things I think that keep us going. And in terms of challenges, well, first of all, there's the challenge that neither of us had any business experience. So we had to write a business plan, and we just kind of followed that outline. We had to guess how much money we were going to make. Okay, and how much money we were going to need. I mean, these are these things where it's like not having any experience at all was definitely a challenge, but people were very helpful. We made our best guesses. I think the plus of not having business experience is that we had no preconceived notions about anything. It's like, okay, we're going to just do it our way, we're going to make it happen. And so that's been a really big adventure. I myself am not an artist. Joel is a self-trained artist, and he does a lot of kind of interesting work. But for me, the creative part, I think, is actually decorating the shop, choosing the stuff that goes in the shop. And so while I'm not, you know, specifically an artist with a particular milieu that I work in, you know, I guess my art space is the gallery itself, and the shop itself. And so like I say, the not having business experience was definitely an issue. The fluctuations between busyness and being totally not busy, the weather stuff, those kinds of things, those are definitely challenges. both in terms of cash flow, but also in terms of just what do you do? You know, you have this list of stuff you're supposed to do. Well, if it's a busy day, you do none of them. Or it gets you on those slow days and your list isn't done. Then what are you going to do? You know, so finding ways to use that time can be challenging at times. Keys to success. Being able to adapt and learn. Sticking to our principles. The fair trade principles that have to do with justice and equity, that have to do with openness and accountability, safety. We welcome children, which is really fun. Parents come in the door and they're like, ooh, don't touch stuff. If I had brought a picture, the picture I would have brought would have been a picture of my daughter when she was 8, visiting her uncle who was a potter. She's standing in the I'm going to use this one because I'm not 8. So she's standing in my brother-in-law's pottery studio at 8 years old with this gorgeous big pot on her head. And he's like, oh yeah, go ahead, just keep that on your head, sarcastically. And our daughter's like, sure. So we have this picture forevermore of her holding the pot on her head. The reason I bring that up is because we have a lot of tolerance for children moving through our space. We have a lot of tolerance for kids picking things up and exploring them and appreciating them. We also don't have $19,000 pieces of art, but it's a wonderful piece that when we tell the parents, well, if you don't want them to touch stuff, that's up to you. But as far as we're concerned, you know, let them run around, let them touch things. Nothing has gotten broken in the last 3 years, except for stuff coming, you know, new and being unpacked, and we broke it. So literally, no children have broken a thing, which has been great. The last thing I want to tell you about is this piece. This is really reflective of why I think being in an art business is so amazing and wonderful. This was made by my brother-in-law, Tim Langholz. Tim passed away 8 years ago. He committed suicide. He's a part of why we did our business. This particular piece arrived at our shop the day of our opening. A friend of Joel's came from the Twin Cities with this wrapped up in a big cloth. She had bought it from Tim several years earlier, not really knowing Tim, but recognizing the last name, and having been friends with Joel, was like, oh, this must be Joel's brother, it's a beautiful piece, I'll buy it. She brought it to our shop on the day of our opening. She said, I just wanted you to see it, and it's a beautiful piece. I'll put it up here if anyone wants to take a look at it afterwards. It's very symbolic of a lot of the stuff that he did. And she said, you know, I just wanted to show it to you. At the end of the night, she said, I'm just going to leave it here for a while. Why don't I just leave it here for a while? I was like, great, we'll set it out. It'll be great. It'll be wonderful. It'll be a good attention seeker. Several weeks later, she sent us a long email, and she said, I am ready to let that piece go. I have appreciated and loved it for as long as I need to. It needs to be with you now. And so we have this piece in our shop. Eventually, I assume we will pass it on to our daughter. And I feel like that's the beauty of working in art, is that there's this sharing and this connecting and this passing on of beauty and wonder and hope. And so that is really what got us started. That is why we keep doing what we do. And that is my connection to art. So thank you very much for your time.